Hi everyone, Ron Crider here. Today we're making Brussels sprouts gratin with bacon and Swiss Gruyere cheese. Broadcasting today from the condominium at Vero Beach, Florida. A couple of feet from the Atlantic Ocean. As you can see, the ocean is beautiful today, 70 degrees and not a cloud in the sky. This is a great side dish for Thanksgiving or Christmas or any time of the year, but you first have to like Brussels sprouts. If you like Brussels sprouts, you're in. If you don't, forget this video because you're not going to really like it. So here we go. It's going to take about 20 minutes to put this together. This video is about 12 minutes long, so let's get started here. First thing we want to do is get some water boiling, and in the water we're going to put the Brussels sprouts. Now what we've done with the Brussels sprouts is chopped them up, we're putting them in boiling water, and it's called blanching. We're only going to cook them for about 3 minutes because they're going to get baked in the oven eventually. But salted water, put them in there, make sure they're all covered up, chop them up in little bite-sized pieces. Make sure you peel off the outer layer, if you will. That'll make them a little bit easier to eat. This takes about 3 minutes in boiling water. And the next thing we're going to do here is put a little oil in the pan, just a teeny bit of olive oil, and then we're going to put some thick cut bacon in here. And the idea here is we want to get this bacon juice or grease from the bacon, and we're going to combine that with a little butter in order to start putting our sauce together, our Gruyere sauce with bacon together, but it needs to have the bacon flavor. In order to do that, we stick this bacon in here. Now the important thing with the bacon, because we also want to use this bacon again twice. First, when we put it in, half of it we're going to put in when we bake it. Bake the dish, and the other half we'll sprinkle on the top. So it wants to be crispy, nice and crispy. Be very careful not to turn the heat up too high. First time I did this, somehow or other I burned the bacon, and that's a bad thing. You got to start over again if you do that. You can tell if you're going to be burning it because it'll start sticking to the bottom. So it doesn't want to stick to the bottom. I'm running the heat here at about 50%. This is unfortunately an electric stove. I don't care for it very much. It seems to have a mind of its own. Sometimes it just all of a sudden is on 9 when it shouldn't be. All right, this is looking to be pretty much ready to go. To take this out and put it on a paper towel and spread it out. Make sure that it's going to drain off. Now you want to get about 2 tablespoons of this sauce. What I was using was 2 tablespoons, but it was only like half full. Now we put it back in the pan, take everything out of the pan that was in there before, and put the 2 tablespoons of the grease in with the butter, and let that cook away just a little bit. And the next thing we're going to do is add flour. Now I'm going to show you the wrong way to do it first. So we're adding this flour because we want this to thicken up. The better way to do this is we're going to be adding chicken stock, and we're going to be adding heavy cream. Before you put the heavy cream of the chicken stock in, like here we are with the chicken stock. I did it another way. You'll see here a little bit further in where you take the flour and put in the chicken stock and mix it all up, and then pour it in the pan. Now you'll notice here that it's cooking away and everything's fine, and we're going to stick a little bit more in. And the next time we put the flour in, you'll see that the problem with doing it this way is, I'm going to put it in with the cream, but the problem with doing it this way is you're going to end up with little lumps of flour, which you don't want. Then you have to try to figure out how to get rid of those little lumps of flour. And I'm going to stir this up and stick a little bit more flour in it. And when we do this, you'll see the little lumps of flour showing up which is not a good thing. And it's so much easier to do if you just do it like I suggested earlier, and that is put it in a little measuring cup and mix it all up together with either the stock or the heavy cream, and then pour it in, and then it will begin to thicken. It's much easier to do, and you don't have to worry about getting these lumps out. See, what I have to do with this is try to get the lumps out there, and I'm using that slotted spatula to do it, and even at the end it didn't work quite as well as I had hoped. Coming up next here, I'll show you how the easiest way to do this. Anytime you're making flour and something in order to thicken it, just take a measuring cup, put your flour in it, 2 tablespoons of flour, and now add your stock in there and start stirring that. Stir it real good, and if you just keep stirring it very good, you won't have any lumps whatsoever. And then when you put it in, it's all really ready to go. It's absolutely the best way to do it. There's another way to do it, and that is to take it with butter and mash it into soft butter. Mash the flour into the salt butter, and gradually add that into what you're trying to thicken. That's another easy way to do it. Either way is fine. The way I showed you first is not the right way, not a good way at all. Don't like doing it that way. Alrighty, so now we have our sauce in there, and the way we're going to deal with the sauce is we're going to put in the shredded Gruyere cheese. Stir that up. You want to get that very well combined in there, because this is going to be the base of what you're cooking with the Brussels sprouts. Put a little salt and pepper in here. Don't cook it too hot. Keep your temperature down, because you don't want to burn this. That would be a really bad thing, but that looks to be a pretty good consistency right now. Take the Brussels sprouts that you pre-cooked just a little bit and combine those in with the Gruyere sauce. You want to make sure that it's covered up really nicely. I get accused all the time of messing too much with what I'm cooking. Oh, you're always doing something. Let it cook itself. Well, it'll cook itself just fine as long as everything is spread out nicely. And that's what we're doing here. We're only going to cook this for about 2 or 3 minutes. This is going to sort of combine, join together, marry up with the Brussels sprouts and the cheese sauce. And then I'm going to take this cheese sauce and the Brussels sprouts, and I'm going to put it into an oven-proof baking dish. Make sure it's an oven-proof baking dish, because you're going to cook it at 400 degrees when you get it into the oven. You're going to cook it for 30 minutes, and then towards the end you're going to crank it up to broil. And when you do so, you don't want that baking dish to blow up or break on you. So it does need to be a really good oven-proof baking dish. Now I'm going to put a little more salt and pepper in here. And bacon. So here we go with the bacon that we pre-cooked before. Crumble it up. As you can see, it's crunchy, and that's a good thing. So we put it in here, and then we're also going to put it in at the end after it's been cooked, right before we serve it when we put it on the table. Everything needs to be combined together. And next it goes into the baking dish, and here we go. It's in the baking dish, and it's getting ready to be put into the oven. And there's our glass Pyrex baking dish. All set to go. Put that oven on 400 degrees. And there we go. We stick it in the oven. I have this cute little red thing. Here, you'll see it here. It's a little thing that you use to kind of push things around in the oven, and it's a lot better than trying to do it with your hands or looking for another device. It really works well. It's a little thing. It costs like $5. I got it from Amazon, like I get everything else from Amazon. Okay, so there we go. We're going to do that for about 30 minutes in there. And there's the finished product. It's just coming out of the oven. Let it sit before you serve it for about 5 or 10 minutes. But make sure at the very end, then I served it with pecan-crusted chicken. And here it is on the table with the pecan-crusted chicken on the plates. And back in the back there was the Brussels sprouts gratin with bacon and Gruyere cheese. And here we are sitting along the beach, Vero Beach, Florida, making these cooking videos. If you enjoy them, please send me an email, roncrider@gmail.com. Let me know if you like them. And they're obviously on YouTube. And occasionally I'll stick them up on Facebook. Here's a list of the ingredients that goes in there, and I'll also list the ingredients when I post these on YouTube. So thank you very much for watching again, and have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And pretty soon this was done in November of 2019, and who knows when you'll be watching it again, but hope you're healthy and happy and have a great holiday season.